صراطي مستقيما فاتبعوه ولا تتبعوا السبل فتفرق بكم عن سبيله ذلكم وصاكم به لعلكم تتقون. صدق Allah العظيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that the pathway towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is straight. That a person who follows the path of Allah is a straight path. That's why the Quran says, Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Please show us the straight path. Allah says the pathway towards Allah is also straight. And that's the reason Quran says about and that is the reason the Quran also speaks when you talk, you should talk straight. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha wa qulu qawlan sadida. Straight. Because okay. That's actually, I think जेब में तो नहीं है नहीं है इधर रखें सर इधर कर लेते हैं उसको सेल फोन तो नहीं है मेरे पास नहीं सॉरी फोन तो इधर है आप रख लें ठीक. So the Quran says ittaqullaha wa qulu qawlan sadida, talk straight, silly about everything. And that is the reason the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that the pathway towards the Jannah is straight. So what do you mean by being straight? Which is according to the nature and which is easy. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made the Islam easy and according to the nature of the human being. It's not complicated, it's easy. And then if a person follows this, because the pathway, Quran says, وَاتَّبِعُوا مِلَّةَ أَبِيكُمْ إِبْرَاهِيمَ. Follow the path of the way of Ibrahim alayhi salam. The path towards Allah and the way of Ibrahim alayhi salam, the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is Hanafiyan, and Hanafi means towards Allah, and the path is straight, which is easy to follow. Every person can follow. Allah has made Islam such and the deen such that any person can follow it. But the thing is this, why it becomes difficult for a person to follow the Islam is because of the environment he lives in. البيئة التي تعيش فيها تمنعك من اتباع هدي النبي. The environment where you live in, people who you interact, what you listen to the people, this makes our life difficult, or this makes us feel that the Islam is difficult, while the Islam is exactly according to the nature. Tell me something, I want to ask you a question. Tell me, I manufacture a car, let's say Toyota Sienna. I'm the manufacturer, Toyota. And I say to okay, now whoever drives Toyota Sienna, please drive on the Mount Himalaya. Would that make sense? Can this Toyota van drive on the mountain of Himalaya with no highways and nothing? Do you think can it go? It's not designed for this. I mean, the car cannot travel. It's not made for that. Isn't it? Logical, common sense. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He tells us, because He's our creator, or you can say manufacturer or creator, خالق كل شيء خلقنا فسوانا, He created us, He made us. Why would He say things which is difficult to follow? So you're asking for a car which is designed to ride on the streets. You drive on the Grand Canyon, unpaved road, or on the mountains. It's not. You cannot even move an inch. ليه? Because it's not designed. It's not designed for that. So Quran tells us that the path of Allah is actually designed according to the human nature. Why this question comes, oh brother, it is difficult to follow Islam. Why it is? Islam is exactly according to the nature. But because a person he lives in the environment where the most of the people uh, are following the desires. وإن تطع أكثر من في الأرض يضلوك عن سبيل الله. Most of the people they are following what the they follow your heart. ठीक है ना? It's like, for example, you have a small child, a 3-year-old toddler, and this toddler, you give him, he's sick, and the doctor prescribes he should not take any cold ice cream or thinks is injurious for his health, but because it tastes good, but when it goes in, it's harmful. A lot of times, things might taste good over here, but when they go inside, it is harmful. The doctors, those are the people who follow the nutrition. What they say, don't eat chips, don't drink soda, but it is injurious. Why the people still eat them or drink them? Because it tastes good when you eat. Isn't it true? Even though it's injurious for the body, but because it tastes good, person drinks it. It tastes good, he eats it, even though knowing that this is harmful for me. Person has high sugar, high diabetes, and then he says, "Give me gulab jamun." You know gulab jamun? We don't know. It's a tasty food, full of sweets, full of sugar, dangerous for the person even who does not have sugar. Okay, cow, and he's eating. The guy, I said, "You have very high sugar diabetes." He said, "Oh, I've been eating when I was a kid." खा रहा था मैं. Even though it's injurious for him, but he's eating it because it tastes good. So this is an example. Allah's orders are easy and it is according to our benefit. But because one thing, everybody is doing it. Second thing, it's injurious to ourselves. Like the junk food is injurious to ourselves, similarly, the disobedience of Allah is injurious to ourselves also. That's the reason you see those people who disobey Allah, they lose both things. What they lose? They lose dunya and they lose akhirah, which means they will be a failure in this dunya and they will be a failure in the life after death. When the doctor says this is not good for you, and you listen to the advice of the doctor and the other person does not listen, one person becomes healthy, the other person becomes sick. This is a common sense, it is a common logic. One person is becoming healthy, other one is sick. Well, he did not follow the doctor's advice. By the way, the doctor could be wrong too. But the normal says you have to listen to what the doctor says. And in general, the probability is this person will be healthy if he listens to the advice of the doctor. My dear brothers, similarly, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى, the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all are benefit for us. Anything which Allah says, it's beneficial. It's very beneficial to us. But if a person he looks uh, around, have you seen people who take drugs? Those who take drugs, what do you call? I saw a group or some place, they were sitting 5, 6 druggies. So one person who was a drug addict, I asked him how you end up being having the drug. So he said that in the school, they hang out. The kids they hang out. So they all sat together. Everybody's taking drugs. Uh, so they told him, give it a shot. He said, no, I don't know. I've never tried it. Come on. Everybody's doing it. You have to follow it. Peer pressure. So I said, I took it. Do you think that drug addicts do you think he does not know how injurious it is? Do you think the smoker does not know how injurious it is for him if he takes the smoking? How injurious? Even they write on the packet. And the drug addicts, do you think he does not know how injurious it is when he takes the drugs? But because peer pressure, he is taking it. Then he gets used. He gets uh, he gets used to the fact that he's taking these drugs and he needs to have drugs. Same thing is like this with the disobedience of Allah. When a person, because first of all, when he's growing up, if he's in the environment. I'm giving you a broad example, and the people are disobeying Allah, around everybody, because watching them, like he's a small kid and he sees his father, his uncle, grandfather, grandmother, everybody's smoking, so he wants to give it a shot because he's in the same environment. Similarly, he is doing what everybody is doing. Uh, Disobedience of Allah is like taking drugs. Actually, worse than that. Worse than that. Quran says, وَمَنْ يَعْصِهِمَا فَقَدْ ضَلَّ وَغَوَى. The one who disobeys Allah, he will go astray and he will be failure. So why we cannot follow the straight path and why it is difficult? Number one, the environment, the people who you hang out with, the wrong crowd. That's the reason Quran says, اتقوا الله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وكونوا مع الصادقين. You better hang out with the right people. If you are hanging out with the wrong crowd, they will tell you to do things which is bad for you, which is bad for them, then bad for you also. While taking drugs, he's enjoying it. He doesn't know these drugs would destroy him, destroy his body. So, my dear brothers, this is what happens when a person. So first of all, what stops a person from following Allah's orders? Number one, the wrong environment who he hangs out with, the peer, because sometimes we grow up in the wrong thing, and a lot of times people around us they don't know that they're disobeying Allah, unfortunately, or they think that according to their idea, Jazakallah khair, according to their idea, they do not think that the orders of Allah or the disobedience of Allah is injurious for them, is a failure for them. They don't know themselves. Masakeen, poor people, like the guy who's taking drugs. For example, hypothetically, he does not know that this is going to destroy him. He'd find out after some certain years about how much damage it has caused to his body. Disobedience of Allah has two issues. It it damages your body and it damages your soul. Both. Both gets damaged. Difficult. So what happens? Why a person cannot? But sometimes it looks difficult to follow the Islam. Because am I right? Everybody is saying what I'm doing is wrong. If I follow the orders of Allah, then am I doing it right or not? This question comes. That's the reason. The first is you have to be in the correct environment. If you want to follow the orders of Allah, you be in the right place. Stay away from the people who disobey Allah. Like Imam Shafi'i says, لقاء الناس ليس يفيد شيئا سوى الهذيان من قيل وقال فأقلل من لقاء الناس إلا لأخذ العلم أو إصلاح حال. Meeting with the people, no benefit. سوى الهذيان من قيل وقال, इधर उधर की गप्पे लगाते हैं बस, talking here and there. فأقلل من لقاء الناس, stop meeting with the wrong crowd. إلا لأخذ العلم أو إصلاح حال, either you should be meeting the people for two reasons. أخذ العلم, either to get the knowledge or to get the knowledge of Allah, أو إصلاح حال, or to fix yourself. How you want to fix yourself? Sit in the company of the pious people, the spiritual doctors who can help you and guide you to remove those sins which have turned into habits. After some time, the sins turn into habit. Like this drug addict, after some time, the body craves for that evil thing. This is how this guy has trained his body. So the sins, a person, his body craves for the disobedience of Allah. He's craving for that. So the first thing for a person, if he wants to follow Allah, the one thing is this, that he needs to be in the correct environment. First place, be in the right company. Don't look for the party out and stuff like that. Be in the company of the right pious people. This is what the Quran is saying. Those people who do not follow the orders of Allah, you know what happens to them? Quran says, وَمَنْ يَعْشُ عَنْ ذِكْرِ الرَّحْمَنِ نُقَيِّضْ لَهُ شَيْطَانًا فَهُوَ لَهُ قَرِينٌ وَإِنَّهُمْ لَيَصُدُّونَهُمْ عَنِ السَّبِيلِ وَيَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ مُهْتَدُونَ. What he says? Those who disobey Allah, Allah should be Allah does to them. نُقَيِّضْ لَهُ شَيْطَانًا فَهُوَ لَهُ قَرِينٌ. You know, shaitan is attached with this guy. It becomes his qareen. Qareen means like his shadow, actual shadow. The one who disobeys Allah, Allah deputes and shaitan to be in his company. Shaitan is with him all the time. So the Quran is saying. And shaitan is like a qareen to him. His like a shadow with him. And وَإِنَّهُمْ لَيَصُدُّونَهُمْ عَنِ السَّبِيلِ. And the shaitan, what he would do, he would not tell you, oh brother, what you're doing is wrong. He's going to tell you the evil thing. If he wants to follow, if he wants to disobey Allah, do it, do it. This is the right thing. Because he does not have the light of Quran, Hadith in his heart, in which he could determine through this light that what is right and what is wrong. He can determine that. So shaitan gives him الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي صُدُورِ النَّاسِ. It, what you call, keeps on whispering the evil thoughts. That this is the wrong thing. I mean, he said this is the thing which you should do. Actually, it's bad for you. And the shaitan is telling this individual, follow this, follow this. And Quran is saying, وَيَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ مُهْتَدُونَ. He is following it, thinking what he's doing is right. In fact, he would define what he's doing. He would justify. He would say, what I'm doing is right. My way or highway. This is what he would say. So my dear brothers, if a person wants to live a straight life, because this is what the Quran is saying. Because if you follow Allah's orders, you know what happens? If you don't disobey Allah, follow the orders of Allah, what happens? The first thing, Quran says, تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبِ. By this remembrance of Allah, first of all, you feel comfortable here. You don't need to take any medication of anxiety and depression and ADHD. I don't know what's going on, all of that stuff. Sukoon mein aa jaoge, relax, tension free. Big pharma will go out of business. Relax. No, mafi, koi issues nahi hai. First thing, تطمئن القلوب. Second, سيجعل لهم الرحمن ودا. Your wife, your children, your friends, your relatives, your everybody who surrounds you, they love you. Not from the tongue, from the heart. They love you. Quran, I'm not making this up, all out of the Quran. سيجعل لهم الرحمن ودا. Make you love. Oh Allah, what about the cash? Allah says, وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. Allah will give you money from the avenues, from the ways you do not even imagine. Allah will give you money from your paycheck also, from the customers also, and also from the ways which you never thought is going to come to you. Or Quran ki ayat hai said, ayat of the Quran, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَل لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. And if you get stuck in any situation, يَجْعَل لَهُ مَخْرَجًا, Allah will make a way out for you. You will not be in a locked box. Then the Quran says, orders I will get if I follow your orders. And Allah says, وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ. Oh yeah, you want to follow some feat, or you want to do something, you want to excel in your studies, or you want to excel in your. So Allah says, whichever field you go in, I'll make sure that you go on the top. By the way, I don't want to take much because time is close by. All of this mathematics, medicine, most of it has been designed and discovered by the Muslim scholars. When I was becoming a scholar, I was reading this book. They used to teach us five fiqh: Hanafi, Shafi, Hanbali, Maliki, Zawahiri. Zawahiri means there's Ahl Hadith, written by Qadi Rushd, Ibn Rushd. Ibn Rushd, we thought he's a big jurisprudence. Ibn Rushd turned out to be a big medicine scholar, which the West has been following, based their medicine upon his teachings. So there are many, many examples you can go and look into the research. وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ. Allah will make you top in whatever you want to be in. وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ. Then Allah says, Wallah, what else I would get? نحن أولياؤكم إن الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا وأبشروا بالجنة التي كنتم توعدون نحن أولياؤكم في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة. Angels will help you in your work. The work will get done quickly and amazingly fast. Because the angels are helping you. They're all ayat of the Quran. And this is not what do you call, just a theory. Yes, a lot of people like the Sahaba, Ahlul Bayt, Ahlullah, pious people, they lived this life and said they saw the benefits of this. How can I tell you in a short time that all the examples, everything? I'm just telling you theories. This is the benefit, my dear brothers, when we follow the orders of Allah. And the thing which does not help us following the orders of Allah is the environment where we stick in, the wrong people who we hang out with, those poor people who themselves don't know. La yaraf ras min dhil, miskin, kayf tattabi'. How you follow somebody? Quran is saying, وَلَا تُطِعْ مَنْ أَغْفَلْنَا قَلْبَهُ عَنْ ذِكْرِنَا وَاتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ وَكَانَ أَمْرُهُ فُرُطًا. तो कैसा इत्तिबा कर सकता है ऐसे लोगों को? How can you follow somebody who does not know who Allah is? وَاتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ is following his desires. You want to follow the guy who doesn't know himself. So inshallah you can call the azan. We can start the azan. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.